Did Britain secretly arm Ukraine with 140 sea drones? Imagine waking up in Moscow and realizing the Royal Navy may have just given Ukraine a ghost fleet, so quiet, even the British forgot to announce it. That's the story that we're diving into today. And if this report is right, Ukraine now has one of the largest unmanned naval forces on Earth. And the UK helped build it with the same enthusiasm you'd use when eating your aunt's mystery casserole on Thanksgiving. Hey friends, Wes O'Donnell here, military veteran, law grad, and editor-in-chief of Eyes Only on Substack. Today we are unpacking a story that looks less like standard military procurement and more like page 1 of a Tom Clancy novel written after 3 strawberry Asiago refreshers from Starbucks. According to Defense Express, British defense startup Syos Aerospace quietly delivered more than 140 maritime drones to Ukraine under a $40 million UK government contract signed back in 2024. And not only were these drones delivered without any public fanfare, the Royal Navy has been testing the same platforms, calling them Rattlers, running them in coordinated packs like aquatic velociraptors on autopilot. Now, Ukraine is already sinking massive Russian warships with kamikaze sea drones and shooting down Russian aircraft with unmanned Sidewinder-armed Magura sea drones, and now they're launching unjammable FPVs from sea drones like mini aircraft carriers. But the UK may have just sent Ukraine another 140. Russia has already taken several gut punches in the Black Sea. Ukraine sank the Moskva, it wrecked landing ships, it's forced the Russian Navy to retreat from Crimea's western coast and hide behind breakwaters like embarrassed hermit crabs. And all of that happened before Ukraine had hundreds of British naval drones. Okay, so let's talk about the Syos Aerospace story. Defense Express reports that the company has quietly been cranking out maritime drones for a year, and these platforms now appear in Royal Navy trials. 5 drones operating as a wolf pack, autonomous, coordinated, aggressive, the kind of thing that makes the Russians whisper, "Nu eto biestro obstrilios." If the numbers are right, Ukraine has already received most of the 140 units. So what exactly did the Brits send Ukraine? Okay, the British Rattler is not a warship. It is a rigid hull inflatable boat with the soul of a heat-seeking missile. Think of it as a boat you take on British holiday, except the vacation is ruined the day of every Russian admiral. The Royal Navy took what looks like a normal rib, stripped out the seats, fired the driver, and stuffed the hull with autonomy modules, GPS-denied navigation gear, command links, and enough onboard compute power to make the thing self-directing. It took 2 months to transform a boat for tourists into a boat that hunts warships. Apparently, when the Brits choose to move fast, they stop messing around. But the Rattler is only the little brother. The bigger threat that Ukraine is receiving is the SM300. This platform comes with a 1,000-kilometer range, making the entire Black Sea, the Sea of Azov, and about half of Russia's coastline fair game. It carries a 300-kilogram payload, enough to eliminate anything short of a destroyer. It also carries a CRPA antenna to defeat Russian jamming, making it one of the few unmanned maritime craft that can keep navigating even when the electronic environment turns into a mosh pit. Imagine a drone boat with the attitude of a linebacker, the range of a bomber. At roughly $200,000 per unit, you can field 5 of these things for the cost of a single Russian-caliber missile. Meanwhile, Russia keeps losing billion-dollar warships to drones priced like high-end jet skis. This is not parody, this is insult. Back in 2024, a weird unmanned craft washed up on the Romanian coast, carrying the warhead of a Soviet P-15 Termit missile. Russia dismissed it as Ukrainian propaganda. Nothing to see here, they said. But looking back, the story fits perfectly. It may have been a prototype. It may have been an early iteration of the Rattler or the SM300. It may have been the British testing a concept quietly, then sending the more refined versions to Ukraine under the Unmanned Maritime Systems label. When London does black budget innovation, they never brag about it. They just build it, test it, and hand it to the person who needs it. And right now, that person is Ukraine. From Moscow's point of view, these drones are the stuff of cold sweats. Each SM300 can operate autonomously, meaning jamming doesn't stop it, it just delays it. Its CRPA antenna filters out interference, its internal systems keep it steady, and when satellite signals return, it recalibrates. You can't simply turn off this kind of drone the way Russian state TV likes to claim. And because they're small, fast, and built on commercial hulls, they're almost impossible to distinguish from civilian traffic until it's too late. Not that that would stop Russia anyways, they attack civilians. Wait, why do Russians attack civilians? Oh, because they're assholes, I forgot. So this means that every fishing boat or cargo tender on the Black Sea now looks like a potential suicide drone. It's forcing Russia to divert ships, move supply depots inland, and waste precious missiles trying to hit things that cost less than a Moscow apartment. Even worse for the Kremlin, Ukraine's use of swarming tactics mirrors trends seen in US and NATO exercises. That's doctrine-level innovation. It signals that Ukraine is leading the world in cheap, scalable naval warfare. If you squint, this story looks exactly like something the British would do. Quietly fund a startup, test the prototypes on their own fleet, and then slip the operational models to an ally already making use of them. It's low-key, it's deniable, and it's effective. Hallmarks of the same defense culture that gave us the SAS, the Harrier, and sarcasm as a weapon. Last year, the United States invested a staggering $1.5 billion into Ukraine's drone sector. That money connected Ukrainian engineers with American defense firms. The result is a battlefield innovation pipeline where ideas go from concept to field test faster than most militaries can do a FOD walk. Washington provides funding and satellite access, London provides maritime engineering and manufacturing, and Kyiv provides the live fire test environment. It is joint venture warfare. The R&D happens in real time, and unlike Russian systems, these platforms are improving between every battle. So here's the big doctrinal shift. Navies used to be judged by tonnage, by hulls, and by flagships. But now tonnage is a liability. Crew size is a liability. Maintenance is a liability. You cannot sink a naval drone and cause a national funeral. You cannot intimidate an unmanned fleet. And you cannot bankrupt its operator. Ukraine has flipped fleet warfare from bigger is better to faster, cheaper, and deadlier. The British Rattler and the SM300 are harbingers. They represent a future where speed, modularity, and expendability beat tonnage, beat prestige, and beat steel. They represent a world where a country without a navy can sink a navy. If Britain quietly handed Ukraine 140 of these machines, then yes, the Black Sea just shrank to the size of a bathtub for Russia. Okay, so did the UK secretly arm Ukraine with one of the largest sea drone fleets in the world? Officially, no one is talking, but unofficially, the wreckage washing up on Romanian shores is starting to tell its own story. And if you ask me, Russia should be less worried about Ukraine building a navy and more worried about Ukraine not needing one at all. That's it for today, my friends. Navy veterans, let me know down in the comments if you think there will still be a need for legacy manned warships like destroyers and attack subs 50 years from now. Or will it all be automated? I want to know what you think. I do read all your comments, and I'm trying to find some time to respond to a few. There's just so many. And I'm a one-person crew over here. Anyways, subscribe if you're feeling froggy. Comment your thoughts about the future of the Navy, and as always, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. Crimea is Ukraine.